Yo, YouTube, what's up with your boy? Sports and Fitness Rants. I'm back, guys. Click that like button. Subscribe to my channel. What's up, y'all? Welcome back, guys. Welcome back, man. Got another great video for you guys today. As usual, man, you guys know the deal on this channel. It's all about setting the record straight, stopping the lies, stopping the narrative, stopping them from rewriting history, guys. And in this video, I want to talk about Aaron Gordon and some of the comments that Aaron Gordon made after the blowout loss for the Denver Nuggets last night, or yesterday afternoon, rather, by the OKC Thunder, man. They just got beat down yesterday in Game 7. You know, Aaron Gordon was dealing with a hamstring issue, and, you know, the Denver Nuggets, man, they didn't have anything left last night, man. They got crushed by OKC. OKC finally, the SGA finally showed up and really had a really solid game, man, because to me, OKC has been up and down in the series. They just seemed like they were never on, you know, steady ground. They just, like I said, they just seemed like they were always trying to find or figure out the Denver Nuggets as the series was going on. But I want to talk about Aaron Gordon in this video, in the comments that he made after the game. This dude started making excuses, talking about, oh, I would have really appreciated if the NBA would give us a couple of days rest in between these playoff games. And this is what I'm talking about, guys. These players, man, I just don't understand their mindset. And I like Aaron Gordon, man. He had a great postseason this year, man. He was really good this postseason for Nikola Jokic and the Nuggets, man. He was really good on defense. He was one of the best offensive rebounder during this postseason. Up until this point, he's the best offensive rebounder out there, man. Just really good. I mean, obviously, 2-game winners. So I really respect what he did this postseason. But, man, what are you crying and complaining about? You guys are supposed to be the bigger, stronger, faster era. So you see, this is what I'm talking about. This is what these guys get exposed. Aaron Gordon crying and moaning for more days of rest in between these games. You guys already get rest in between these playoff games, man. We're going to talk about this video, man. And I want to thank you guys, everyone across the world, everyone across the states, man. Shout out to everybody that came through the live stream yesterday, man. We had the whole crew back yesterday, man. It was a good time. Thank you to all you guys that come through and support us. Like I said, you guys donate, man, the comments, all that stuff. It means a lot, guys. And you guys know what to do. Excuse me. Turn the volume all the way up. Hit that play button. Remember, these videos are for educational purposes. And let's roll. So, yes, guys, like I said, man, I wanted to talk about Aaron Gordon's comments in this video. Now, once again, this is not a video to tear down Aaron Gordon or anything like that. But once again, this is to expose these NBA players of this era and how weak-minded they are and how soft they have gotten, man, over the previous eras and how tough those guys actually were. I keep telling you guys the same thing on this channel, man. These guys want you to believe, not just the players, but the media. They really want you to believe. They're trying to paint this picture that the guys today in the NBA, the era today, somehow the world today is harder than it was back in the day. They really want you to believe that the guys are dealing with tougher conditions, a harsher reality, a tougher world to live in. They really want you to believe that flying on these private jets and getting all this cryo baths and all the supplements they have and the advancements in training and medicine and all the coachings that they have now and trainers that they have access to. They really want us to believe that this soft, convenient, comfortable world is somehow harder than what the guys were dealing with back in the day. I'm not buying that. There's no way you can convince me that the time that my dad grew up in and the time that our grandparents grew up in was easier than what we're dealing with today. You can't tell me that what Bill Russell was dealing with, what Wilt Chamberlain, what George Mikan, and Bob Cousy, and Nate Thurman, and Elgin Baylor, and Jerry West, and Oscar Robertson, man, and just what all these guys were dealing with, man, Walt Bellamy, and, you know, Willis Reed. All these guys that played in the 50s and the 60s, man. You're trying to tell me that these guys had an easier time? The world was easier for them? The NBA schedule was easier for them? You think they had 3, 4, 5 days rest in between these games, Aaron Gordon? You sound insane making this a plea. It sounded like he was making a plea to the NBA front office to give them more rest in between playoff games. And what's really disappointing when I'm listening to Aaron Gordon speak is, like I said, I like Aaron Gordon. And he had a very good postseason this year. He was really good. But for him to make these comments, like I said, you lack self-awareness. And you expose yourself and your era. Because what have we been saying, guys? They keep promoting that these guys are greater athletes, right? Oh, they're more skilled today. They're bigger, stronger, faster. This is what they're saying. Oh, the athletes today would destroy the guys in the 50s, right? They make it seem like if you put one of these guys today in the 70s game, that he would automatically be the greatest player ever because the players today are so much more athletic, they're so much faster, they can jump higher, they're stronger, they're all this. They're more skilled, they're just better at basketball. But then you have Aaron Gordon coming up on here saying, we need more rest in between these games. And then he tries to attribute the blowouts, right? Because they got blown out. Make no mistake about it, they got blown off. I mean, I was watching the game, guys, and I don't want to go into the game in this video, but the Denver Nuggets were up 21-10, guys, in the first, 5 minutes of that game. They jumped on the OKC, man, and it looked like they were going to blow the OKC Thunder out. And I don't know what happened after that. The wheels came off. They started off hot, and they didn't have the rest engine. OKC, SGA, these guys. But anyway, Aaron Gordon is trying to make an excuse for the blowout losses in the NBA, and that's the reason why. Oh, we don't have as much rest in between the playoff games, so we're tired, we're not ready to go, and this is why they're having blowouts. No, that's not the reason for the blowouts, Aaron Gordon. That's insane for him to try to make that stretch, because that's really what he's doing. He's stretching and reaching for an excuse. You're just making up stuff, man. The main reason why there have been so many blowouts in the NBA over the last several seasons is because of the way the NBA is playing the game. When you're taking 40, 50, 60 threes a game, and make no mistake about it, the Denver Nuggets shot 40 threes last night. When you're shooting that many threes and you're not making them, which they did not, then what does that do? That leaves you open to a blowout because you guys did not stop shooting those threes. You just kept chucking those threes up. And I hate when people say, oh, the defense was forcing them into those shots, or that's what the defense was giving them, that's what they were allowing them to do, was giving up threes. That don't mean nothing. If you take 20 threes and you only made 5 of the first 20, then damn it, you got to start doing something else. Start doing a pump fake, right? Start trying to attack the rim. Put some pressure on the defense. You have to start dictating the things. You can't allow them to dictate what you're going to do. You can't always be reacting, right? You have to sometimes be proactive, not reactive. So I don't want to hear no excuse about what the OKC was doing to Denver last night to force them into that style of play, because they were chucking up a lot of bad shots, man. They were missing a lot of shots, and that's just what it comes down to. But Aaron Gordon's going to say, oh, we were tired, that's why we're missing shots. No, you guys were just beaten out there, and that's part of the problem for the NBA. Instead of you guys trying to attack the rim and, do other things, you guys will live and die by that three. You'll live and die by a certain play style. And once again, the defense for the Nuggets has been inconsistent at best. They've been better defensively in the postseason than the regular season, but that's not saying much when you're ranked, what were they ranked, 22nd in defense this year? So you really had no place to go but up in the postseason. But like I've told you guys, and I did a video on this, remember I said there have been more 30-point blowouts in the postseason than there have been overtime games. But Aaron Gordon wants you to believe that that's because there's not enough rest in between playoff games. That's insane for him to say that. And why is Aaron Gordon saying that? Once again, this is where these guys expose their lack of knowledge or history of the NBA. They don't know the history of the game. Because for Aaron Gordon to say that, like I said, there's no knock on Aaron Gordon. I'm not trying to tear him down or say he's a fool or anything like that. These comments are foolish. You don't understand the history of the game, Aaron Gordon. And I get it. A lot of these guys just play the game, right? Aaron Gordon's an athletic freak. The way he can jump, move at that size, he's got athletic advantages over people, like I said, that even guys in the NBA, he's more athletic than a lot of these guys, even at this point in time of his career. So most of his game is predicated off athleticism, right? We get all of that stuff. But when you think about the way these guys are playing the game, like I said, and you talk about these guys and you're trying to make an excuse. Aaron Gordon plays in the NBA because of his size and the athletic ability of him. He doesn't know the game. I even doubt if he grew up watching the game like that. I just don't know if these guys grew up watching the game. They grew up playing the game, obviously. No doubt, these guys are ballers, man. But watching the game, playing it, are two different things. And I'm not saying that, watching the game is better than playing it. That's not what I'm saying. Is these guys don't watch the game back in the day, so you don't remember or respect the history of the game. You just don't know it. So when he says, oh, there should be more days of rest in between the games because that's why you're having blowouts and, we're tired and, we're worn down and we're beat up and this and that. Dude, you're a professional athlete. You're getting paid a lot of money to go through these rigors. No one says it's going to be easy. That's why you guys get paid a lot of money. That's why you guys are famous. That's why you guys are treated the way you're treated, like celebrities. Because being a professional athlete is hard, man. It ain't supposed to be easy, you fools. These guys think it's supposed to be easy. You think it was easy for the guys back in the day? And remember, those guys back in the day did not have all the millions of dollars to go along with the wear and tear, to go along with the sacrifices that they were making, to deal with all that stuff. So they had to show up to work every single night, push through all these pains and personal problems for way less money. Way less money. No excuses for those guys in a much harsher world, a much harsher reality that they had to deal with. So, like I said, Aaron Gordon does not know the issue of the game. He doesn't realize that guys were playing back-to-back playoff games in the 90s. In the 90s, not the 50s and the 60s. In the 90s, they were playing back-to-back playoff games. I did a video on this, and I showed you guys that Michael Jordan, the Bulls, when I looked into it, in the 90s, from the minute he came in the league, 80s and the 90s, I think the Bulls played in 4 back-to-back playoff games. 4 different occasions, they played back-to-back playoff games, guys. I told you, LeBron James never played a back-to-back playoff game. Not once his entire career, guys. They phased all that out. They made the schedule easier for these guys. I don't know what Aaron Gordon is crying and complaining about and pleading about for more rest. You guys get enough rest as it is. They stretch this season out. They get rid of, you guys have way less back-to-backs in the regular season. Way less 3 games in 4 nights. If you listen to historians on the game of basketball, I'm talking about historians, guys. People who know the game prior to 1980. If you listen to these people, what do they talk about? They talk about how many times these guys would play 3 games in a row, 3, 4 games in 5 nights, like almost every other night was a back-to-back for these guys back in the 50s and the 60s, man. They played a hellified set schedule. And once again, they didn't have all the nutrition, the doctors, all this, they said these cryo chambers these guys are sleeping in now, these barbaric chambers, all this stuff. These guys have new sneakers and gear, and the courts that they're playing on are better. These guys were playing in canvas Chuck Taylors, man, on crummy hardwood floors, man, in arenas where people smoke cigars. I mean, what the hell are we talking about here? Like I said, could you imagine Aaron Gordon having to play back-to-back playoff games in an arena that's crappy floors with rims being hung from chicken wire and people smoking cigars and cigarettes in the arena? Could you imagine him having to deal with those kind of conditions? What are you going to complain about then? My God, man, you guys are just crying and moaning. It's just a complaint. And like I said, you're trying to make an excuse and say there wouldn't be as many blowouts if we had. That's BS, man. I'm calling BS on that statement. The blowouts have to do with a lot of different factors. And you guys conditioning the rest, the amount of games you guys are playing has nothing to do with that, man. That's an excuse. That's a crutch, man. You're just, once again, trying to play the victim here. These guys are always victims. I don't get it. Why can't you guys just be grown men, be professionals, come to a post-game press conference and be like, yo, man, we didn't have it. We got smoked out there. They came out ready to go. We jumped on them early and we couldn't sustain that. Just come out and be real, man. Don't say, yeah, I would really appreciate if we could get an extra day rest, if we can get another day rest. I mean, this dude's really saying I really would appreciate it if we can get another day rest in between here in the playoff games when you guys are getting 2 days, 3 days in between these games. They always give you a travel day and a rest day when you guys travel. Like I said, the players back in the 80s and the 90s that I grew up watching, those guys got way less money, and they had to play way more back-to-backs, and they played back-to-back playoff games. Aaron Gordon has no idea what it means to play a back-to-back playoff game. He's never done it, but yet he's crying about playing a game after 2 nights rest. What are you complaining about? This is why we don't respect you fools. How am I supposed to respect Aaron Gordon after he makes these comments? I can't respect you. And once again, you guys come across as a bunch of babies, man, and entitled brats. You guys need everything. Everything has to be perfect for you guys to show up to work and go out there and give some effort. You guys get blown off the court and you want to blame the refs. I mean, the rest period. You want to blame the NBA scheduling. You're crying and moaning to who? Adam Silver here? Because the fans don't want to hear this nonsense. Nobody wants any excuses, man. There are a lot of teams playing a lot of games, man, a lot of nights. Once again, no one ever says it's going to be easy to be a professional athlete. These guys want to have the easiest life. They don't want no pushback from the fans. They don't want no one critiquing them or criticizing them. These guys are weird, soft, sensitive goofs, man. They're not true professionals. It's really sad to hear this dude say this. I can't even believe when I saw his comments, when I heard it, I was like, what the hell? And also, can someone tell me what the hell is Aaron Gordon wearing? Aaron Gordon is dressed like a high school kid going to the homecoming dance. The man's got a sweater vest on with a collared shirt underneath with a backwards fitted hat. Like, where's your style at, dude? Where's the swag from these guys? You don't look like a professional basketball player. Like I said, you look like a high school kid out there, man. My goodness, man. I just don't get, like, what these guys are doing. They're not cool, man. They're not cool. Like I said, I'm not the coolest guy in the world and the best dressing dude in the world. And I'm not trying to say, anything against people's dressing. But, dude, you came with a sweater vest, a button-down shirt, with a backwards fitted hat. You just looked all discombobulated out there. Because I don't even know what the hell, who told you to wear that outfit, man. I said, I don't know some of these guys, man. They're just weird dudes, man. And like I said, more importantly, the comments that he made don't add up. So when they keep telling us these guys are bigger, stronger, faster, it's not the case. I told you, these guys are mentally weak. They're weak as hell mentally, man. They don't have the mental fortitude to play back-to-back playoff games. These guys cry and moan for everything. Remember just a couple of years ago, they were crying and moaning the NBA season is too long. Oh, the NBA schedule's too long. We should be playing less games. And that's why they came with the 65-game minimum, guys, to allow these guys to miss all these games. That's all that was. All that minimum was them giving the players permission to miss 17 games. That's all that was. That's why I said, if they really wanted to make it a minimum and really try to hold these guys to a standard, then they would have made the minimum 75 games maybe, right? But not 65 games. What's 65? Once again, you allow them to miss 17 games of a season. That's insane, man. And that's all that really was. You allowing them to load manage, and you're letting them know, hey, listen, you could load manage for this many games. After that, then you guys can't get, awards and all this other stuff. So they're letting these guys load manage, man. But yet still, Aaron Gordon's complaining. He needs another day of rest in between the playoff games because that's why they got blown out. Nah, dude. Come on, man. That's insane for you to say that. Like I said, it doesn't make any sense. And like I said, I get it. It's not going to be easy. It's not supposed to be easy. You guys played 7-game series in the first round, and you had a 7-game series in the second round. Sometimes that's how it goes. Sometimes you got to play 7-game series all the way throughout. There have been many NBA teams in NBA's history that have grind through a championship, man, that played many, many series all the way to 6 or 7 games. And like I said, they were playing back-to-back playoff games in that time, man. Way less rest in between. Man, I didn't hear these guys crying and moaning all the time for nonsense. Like I said, and not even that, it's not that they're crying and moaning. But Aaron Gordon's going to complain. All these guys complain all the time, right? They're complaining about it all the time. Oh, the Jaylen Brown, the Orlando Magic were too physical. Dude, you guys are a bunch of babies, man. So you're going to cry and moan, but then they're going to promote these guys as bigger, stronger, faster. And that's where they lose us. That's where they get exposed. And that's why I tell you, they're trying to rewrite and bend reality. Because the reality is these guys are not bigger, stronger, faster, and there's nothing that you can show to prove that. And Aaron Gordon's comments basically show that I'm correct. He needs another day rest in between the playoff games, man, because it's not enough what they're getting already. Insane, man. You guys know the deal, man. The bigger, stronger, faster is a myth. It's a lie. It's a narrative. The more skilled ever is a lie. It's a narrative, guys. They're not. These guys are weaker, softer, more frail, more sensitive. They just don't have the mental fortitude. They don't have the heart to grit. They're not as competitive as guys back in the day. They're just not. And they're not grown men. They're not as tough. They're just not, man. I told you guys. You take a bunch of people from back in the day, like I said, my father's generation, my grandfather's generation, man. You take people from that time and you put them in a group of people of today, the guys today would have had a chance with them dudes, man. You know what I'm saying? They just wouldn't be able to do it. Look at the poll. Look at the poll, guys, with the dodgeball. You guys know the deal. We grew up around the same time. The dodgeball, man. You guys played dodgeball, but how many times did you see people say that they didn't allow them to use those red rubber balls for dodgeball, right? They had to use the foam balls or they changed some of the parameters of dodgeball. And in some instances, for a lot of people today, they'll never know what dodgeball truly is. They'll never know what it takes to play dodgeball at that level. And when I'm talking about the older kids, when I was growing up in the city, guys, playing dodgeball, first, second, third, fourth grade, the 6th, 7th, 8th graders, we used to call them the center school kids. These kids would be pummeling us with these dodgeballs, man. So here I am in 5th grade, 3rd grade, 2nd grade, getting pummeled by 6th, 7th, and 8th graders, just destroying us, guys. Or 6th and 7th grade, I believe it was. Kids were just pummeling us with these dodgeballs, man. And in turn, we would pummel the younger kids, right? And that's what it was, man. You would sometimes get stung with that ball. You get hit in the face, you get hit in the stomach, you get hit in the private parts, man. Things of that nature. But it just shows you that when we grow up, you had to be tougher. There was no choice. You're climbing monkey bars, you fall, you bang your shins, you bang your face, you bust your lip. I've got my front teeth chipped riding my bicycle when I was young. These are things that happened to us as kids. Climbing trees. Kids don't do this stuff anymore. It's a different, weaker time. They banned dodgeball. Like, how do you ban dodgeball from kids playing dodgeball? This is why your kids are weak and soft. You guys know that these are the facts. Aaron Gordon, I respect him, man, but damn, dude, How am I supposed to respect you after these comments? Come on, man. You sound insane asking for more rest. These guys were playing back-to-back playoff games back in the day, Aaron Gordon. Look at their schedules back in the day. Very condensed. You guys know the deal. I'll catch you guys on the next one.